Above It All show today. Show the Above It All program today. 1,000 everybody. 804. Today is we got Maxie, come here. Maxie, is that a LaCroix? Give me that. Nope. How about this? This is mine. Everybody, can you see this? It's the Max the Dog show. Above It All, everybody. 1,804. Show today is the program day. Above It All show day today. On the show, we have the day where show news on the news program, and so we will be getting into the show today, news program, entering the broadcast today on today's programmatic installation of the show news program. 1,804, everybody, is the number for today. Today is Wednesday. I think today is Wednesday, which means Donald Trump is in jail, of course, according to him. He is currently behind bars. Though I'm not sure if that's actually real, but he said it, so it must be true. Anyway, today is Wednesday, and tomorrow is Thursday. Everybody, Thursday, not today, but tomorrow. I will not be here tomorrow, but I will be here today, to do a news program, today. So, we have a program lined up for today, and I've got the news on, the news for today. Program. So, yesterday, I'm gonna recap my my fasting bullshit that I'm doing. Yesterday, I experienced what some would consider, and upon further research on my own, I experienced a migraine yesterday for the first time in my life. So, I'm only going to assume it's because on my fasting day, not yesterday, but the day before, I was not drinking enough water. So if anyone does try to do an alternate day fast, reminder to stay hydrated. I'm going to learn from that mistake here. Got some water here, so gotta stay hydrated. May have missed my mark. I never had a migraine before, so I was kind of like, I didn't know what it was. I had like this like pulsing pain in my head, and my head was super sensitive, and I was like, oh fuck, what am I doing? It's all over. Never had that before. It was pretty bad. But yeah, so I guess I just missed my mark on the water. I'm gonna be a little bit more careful with that one. I'm normally pretty careful, but I guess I made a mistake. It happens. But anyway, we got a Max dog over here. Max, you want to say hi to the camera? You want to say hi? No? What is that? Is that an elephant? Oh my god. Look at this dog. Look at him. Look at the dog. Alright, so it's Max the Dog show today. Everybody, reminder to drink some water. I know, I made my own. I say this shit on my show all the time, and I made a mistake. So here we have Max the doggy, who's just look at this boy. I mean, I just can't with this fucking shit. Ah! Ooh! Look at this dog. I mean, I'm having a great day, everybody. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Ah! Ah! Woo! This is what I do. When I pet Max, I just scream at him in random high-pitched noises. Ah! Ah! I think he enjoys it. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a goddamn show. I'm doing a program today on my show. Decided to do a program. I want to start today's show. I want to start today's program with some really, like, this is some crazy stuff that came out a couple of days ago. Last week, I guess, or maybe on, I don't know, 4 days ago, I see. This is some crazy stuff. I don't know if anyone has seen this. A 4-decade secret, one-man story of sabotaging Carter's re-election. Has anyone seen this yet? How is this not like wall-to-wall coverage? Former president, if you can call him that, Ronald Reagan, apparently committed treason against the United States. Like, I don't know, man. I just haven't seen. People are talking more about Donald Trump not getting arrested than the fact that fucking Ronald Reagan committed treason and, STOLE and ELECTION, right? So, by the way, Joe Biden won the 2020 election. Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. Again, there was no voter fraud in the 2020 election. That said, Ronald Reagan apparently just casually committed treason. Now, this is something that I've heard before, but it was one of those things that there was no real evidence for. It was just kind of like whatever. Now we have evidence. So anyway, I want to read this here for y'all because this is some, again, crazy ass shit. It has been more than 4 decades, but Ben Barnes says he remembers it vividly. His longtime political mentor invited him on a mission to the Middle East. What Mr. Barnes said he did not realize until later was the real purpose of the mission: to sabotage the re-election campaign of the President of the United States. It was 1980, and Jimmy Carter... Like, do they call him Jimmy, or is it like James? Is his real name James? I don't know. James Carter was in the White House, bedeviled by a hostage crisis in Iran that had paralyzed his presidency and hampered his effort to win a second term. Mr. Carter's best chance for victory was to free the 52 Americans held captive before Election Day. That was something that Mr. Barnes said his mentor was determined to prevent. So, okay. So we're going to Iran to stop the release of 52 American hostages. Right? So again, crazy ass shit. His mentor was John B. Connally Jr., a titan of American politics and former Texas governor who had served 3 presidents and just lost his own bid for the White House. A former Democrat, Mr. Connally had sought the Republican nomination in 1980, only to be swamped by Governor Ronald Reagan of California. Now, Mr. Connally resolved to help Mr. Reagan beat Mr. Carter, and in the process, Mr. Barnes said, make his own case for becoming Secretary of State or Defense in the new administration. Here we have some old-ass photo of Jimmy Carter. What happened next? Mr. Barnes has largely kept secret for nearly 43 years. Mr. Connally, he said, took him to one Middle Eastern capital after another that summer, meeting with a host of regional leaders to deliver a blunt message to be passed to Iran. Do not release the hostages before the election. Mr. Reagan will win and give you a better deal. Again, now, I've seen this kind of stuff that was very firmly in the conspiracy realm, according to the United States. Anything that goes against the best president of all time, Ronald Reagan, is a conspiracy. But again, there was really no smoking gun. When it came to this story previously, the hostage stuff, when it comes to Reagan and Carter, there was really no smoking gun. But here we have Mr. Barnes apparently is the smoking gun, and I don't know. Like, it's, I figured this would be everywhere, but I haven't seen this covered in many areas, so that's why I wanted to start today's show with this little history lesson. Then, shortly after returning home, Mr. Barnes said Mr. Connolly reported to William J. Casey, the chairman of Mr. Reagan's campaign and later director of the CIA, briefing him about the trip in an airport lounge. Mr. Carter's camp had long suspected that Mr. Casey or someone else in Mr. Reagan's orbit sought to secretly torpedo efforts to liberate the hostages before the election, and books have been written on what came to be called the October Surprise. But congressional investigations debunked previous theories of what happened. So, congressional investigations under Reagan debunked the conspiracy, apparently. Similarly to how, like, the Warren Commission debunked the conspiracy around JFK being shot by more than one person. Obviously, it's a bunch of bullshit. Obviously, Lee Harvey Oswald was set up, and he was a patsy, and there were multiple shooters, and the Warren Commission is garbage, in the same way that these congressional investigations are garbage. Because, again, they just put the seal of Congress on the rubber stamp seal of approval of Congress. All of a sudden, Americans are like, oh, well, Congress decreed it, so therefore it must be true. Like, what? Like, what the fuck? I mean, I assume the opposite, and generally, I assume the opposite. If Congress says something, maybe the opposite is true, actually, but hey. Mr. Connolly did not figure in those investigations. His involvement, as described by Mr. Barnes, adds a new understanding to what may have happened in the hard-fought pivotal election year with Mr. Carter. Now 98 and in hospice care, Mr. Barnes said he felt compelled to come forward to correct the record. Well, thankfully, this guy is telling on himself. Now, I'm just out of curiosity, is Mr. Barnes, anyone involved here, going to go to jail? I know a lot of these people are dead, obviously, like Ronald Reagan, dead as a doornail, right? But like, I don't know, man, just treason against the United States, sabotaging an election, putting people's lives at risk from America. Now, again, I don't give a shit about that, but, I mean, I don't know, shouldn't the American justice system care about this? I don't know, man. Hey, I know, statute of limitations. Quote, history needs to know that this happened, Mr. Barnes, who turns 85 next month, said in one of several interviews, his first with a news organization about the episode. Quote, I think it's so significant, and I guess knowing that the end is near for President Carter put it on my mind more and more. I just feel like we've got to get it down some way. Mr. Barnes is no shady foreign arms dealer, blah, blah, blah. You can read the rest of this if you'd like. But basically, the big deal here is he participated in you could call it a coup. I mean, you could, right? I mean, so they made a deal with a foreign government, right, to essentially create a fake crisis so that they could install their guy as president. I mean, you could claim it's a coup. I mean, I'm willing to entertain that definition of the word coup. I don't know, man. I think it's pretty crazy. But again, I wonder how those, you have like an uncle, someone in your family that's like, during the 80s, everything was good. Ronald Reagan is like, they associate, like, 80s had good, like, action movies or something, so must be Ronald Reagan really making America great. Like, these motherfuckers with their dumbass, rose-eyed fucking goddamn nostalgia glasses. Anyway, you ever have these people in your family or anyone around you that's like, back in my day, Ronald Reagan was whipping America? Well, now you can ask them about this whole thing, and I'd be curious to see how they respond. But again, that's some pretty crazy stuff here. And again, the smoking gun is there now. So all of these so-called conspiracies are now again proven to be accurate. Similarly, again, my analog here is the Warren Commission on the JFK assassination. I also believe that is very similarly a bunch of fucking bullshit, except we don't have, as of this moment anyway, to my understanding, we don't have a smoking gun. Like, the second shooter isn't going to come out and say, it was me, I was the second shooter. Like, I would love that if that happened, but, Anyway, maybe it's Jack Ruby. Maybe that's why they killed him. Anyway, I'm getting into some fun territory. But either way, pretty bombshell news story, It's a bombshell. Breaking news! Holy fuck! Ah! So, welcome to the program. Everybody, this is the Above It All program. Today is the Above It All program. And we're doing a show today. I'm doing a program. And, today is the Above It All show. I will not be here tomorrow, folks. I'm sorry. I apologize. Just kidding, actually. I don't apologize. Fuck you if you wanted to watch my show on Thursday. Fuck you! Because I make my own rules. But tomorrow, I will not be here. So normally I take off on Wednesday, but I gotta synchronize it with my fasting schedule. So today is another fasting day for me. If anyone wants to join me, feel free to do so. Again, I had a migraine yesterday. I've never had a migraine before. It was actually pretty painful. It was pretty bad, actually. But drink more water. I kind of, in retrospect, I did fuck up with my water intake the other day. So, what are you gonna do? But today, I'm gonna fix that problem. Got some water right here. So, anyway, today's a new show. Program. Today is Wednesday. Wednesday. That's right. Wednesday. Today. Today is Wednesday. So a lot of people, they ask me questions. Can you believe it? I get questions asked of me as you may not know this, I am a transgender American. Right, so people often ask me, you're transgender. Why don't you talk about all these, transgender news stories? Because there's a lot, going on. I haven't really talked about. And the answer to that question is I don't really want to. I don't want to. But anyway, let's just give you a good headline here. Check this out. So this is in my news feed today. We got 3 of these motherfuckers. Check this out. Georgia lawmakers pass a bill banning gender transition treatments for minors. You think I want to talk about this shit? You think I want to come on my show and talk about this fucking cockamamie fucking garbage? Look at this. Kim Reynolds says Iowa ban on gender-affirming care is in the best interest of kids. I don't want to come on here and fucking subject myself to this fucking goddamn torture. I know doing a news show is a little bit of a self-harm experience, but I have my limits. There's plenty of cisgender YouTubers that can talk about this shit. I don't want to talk about this. A lot of people, they ask me, why don't you talk about this? You're supposed to be the transgender streamer. I know a lot of people are saying that to be nice. I get it. And but let's look at this one. Arkansas restricts school bathroom use by transgender people. They're fucking around with kids going to the bathroom, man. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to talk about this stuff. But I'm going to talk about it in this instance, just to tell you how much I don't want to talk about. What is this fucking garbage, by the way? I'm going to go turn this one back on. But there's just every single fucking day with these stupid batshit psycho motherfuckers posting cringe. Every time I make a video about this, you know what I have to deal with? I have to deal with being inundated by fucking 80-year-old boomers who want to fucking murder me just because I made a fucking YouTube video that they disagree with. Seriously, whenever I make a video about transgender or anything, just look at the comments. I just get so many of these boomer redneck fucking cocksuckers telling me to kill myself, telling me I'm gonna die, telling me they're gonna kill me. I don't want to deal with that. That's not something I want to put up with in my day-to-day life. My life is stressful enough dealing with this fucking goddamn shit in the news. I don't want to fucking talk about this on my news show. So I just wanted to say this. Maybe I'm open to changing my mind in the future, but there's all kinds of transgender related news stories that I could be talking about. There was this news story recently about someone who killed themselves because they were forcefully deported to Saudi Arabia. You may have heard about it. I was going to talk about that on my show. I decided I'm not going to do it because I don't feel like dealing with the fallout from that. Now, you could say that makes me a pussy. Yeah, that's right. Look at this. Pussy alert. I don't care. I don't care. I'm sick. I'm tired. So for anyone who's wondering why I'm just stepping out of talking about all of this, I thought I'd let you know. I don't want to right now. Maybe I will in the future. Maybe. It's possible. But I'm taking some time off. So if anyone wants to have a news show talk about transgender issues, guess what? go ask someone else, because I'm taking a fucking break, okay? Mental health is important, okay? So anyway, I mean, just like, this is just today. I mean, today, we got 3 states doing this fucking shit, talking about how they want to fucking murder us. You know, you had that shit a couple of weeks ago with fucking CPAC doing, like, a fucking neo-Nazi shit. We're gonna fucking kill all transgender people on CPAC. Like, I don't want to deal with this anymore, so I'm just gonna try to ignore it as much as I can, and, there you go. So that's my little PSA for everyone who loves to ask me when I'm going to cover the latest transgender bill. I'm sorry, stepping out of that game for a while. Call me whatever you want. That's my take. So just thought I'd put that out there. But I'm doing a news show today. Today is the day where I do a news show. Today is Wednesday. I'm a little hyper. I'm drinking some coffee here, so check this out. Oh. Ah. Oh. E. Ah. Ah. So we got a program. It's 10:27 on the eastern coast of the United States of America. You know, it's also 10:27 in states that are landlocked but connected in some fashion to the eastern coast of the United States of America, right? You know, you ever see these states where like half the states in one time zone, half the states in another time zone? Can we fucking get rid of that shit? I say this: if your state is like multi-time zone, just wherever the time zone line is, cut your state in half, okay? I don't want to deal with this fucking cocksucking shit. Driving over to the next town, all of a sudden it's 3 o'clock. Driving back home, it's 5:30. Oh my god, what happened? Oh, what happened was the fucking time zone change. You ever see this shit? Does anyone live in these weird areas, right, where it's like, you know, you drive to the fucking neighboring town and your time zone switches all up? What the fuck is that shit, man? Come on. I don't go anywhere. I don't drive. I don't know how to drive. I don't leave my house. But if I did leave my house, that kind of stuff would annoy me if I did live in one of those areas. So I say this: we need to cut all those states in half until we figure out what the fuck is going on with these goddamn time zones. But anyway, got a show going on today. I mean, like, Donald Trump, he's supposed to be in jail. I was told by Donald Trump, personally, he told me, called me on the phone. He was like, "Hey, Andrea, I'm gonna go to jail. Believe me." I was like, oh, shit, okay. But no, for real, though. He tweeted or truthed at the world, he's going to motherfucking jail. He's not there. Like, I'm looking at, you know, I'm going to the fucking jail, and I'm looking around. I'm like, where's Donald Trump? I mean, like, Jesus Christ, can we throw this guy at Rikers Island or some shit? You know, like, come on. Like, what the fuck is taking so long? But anyway, yesterday was a very fun day to be on the internet. Chilling AI deepfakes purporting to show Trump arrest. Take over Twitter. Take over Twitter. Chilling. They were chilling. I love this shit because it's like boomers reacting to technology. If you were on the internet, you probably saw the various images of Donald Trump running from the cops. You know what? I don't know about you. I see a photo of Donald Trump running. Obviously, it's fake. I mean, Donald Trump running? I mean, do you know anything about the guy? There's no way he could run in 1,000 years. Like, the moment he would try to get both feet off the ground is where he's gonna fall and fucking break his fucking face, okay? So there's no way Donald Trump's gonna be running. Getting into a fist fight with cops, I know. This is what all these viral, chilling AI deepfakes. I love boomer language. But anyway, let's check this out. This is from The Independent, which is a pretty boomer-ass fucking outlet, so you're gonna get the boomerest of the boomer shit going on. AI-generated deepfake showing Donald J. Trump making a run from the authorities at being arrested have flooded Twitter ahead of the former president's possible indictment this week. Mr. Trump could be indicted by a Manhattan grand jury as soon as this week and potentially charged with falsifying business records connected to hush money payments during his 2016 campaign to adult film actor Stormy Daniels. An indictment in New York would make Mr. Trump the first former president to face a criminal charge. The fabricated images, now viewed over 4 million times, show Mr. Trump resisting as officers resembling those from the New York Police Department attempt to restrain him. Some images fabricated scenarios where the 45th president is seen struggling to run away from these officers. So let's scroll down here. We got some of these photos that you can see here. This is a good one. Now again, I love the mouth here. The mouth is the best part. But again, imagine for a moment Donald Trump is in this position. Not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Also, he's got 3 legs. He's got 3 legs. But again, like, imagine Donald Trump sprouts out a 3rd leg and just starts doing like some jujitsu. It's never gonna happen. So now again, I have a bunch of people I follow that were reposting this stuff, and I was keeping up with their tweets, and like you see a bunch of like the freedom fighters going like fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news. Man, that was fake news, man. Fake news. Typical leftist lies. Fake news. I mean that's the thing. You have to understand, Trump supporters are just dumb as fuck. I mean, they're real. Like, again, we need you to understand here, and by we, I mean me, because no one else is here. I mean, Max the dog is here. Look at this dog. He's fucking around. He's spinning in circles. You see this shit, Max? What the hell are you doing? Anyway, I need you to understand, Trump supporters are the dumbest of the dumbest of the dumbest of the dumbest dumb motherfucking dumb fuck motherfucks in the history of dumb fuck motherfucks. Okay, before I get back to this shit, let me explain my theory. Okay, Trump supporters are at the what I like to call the apex ratio of, they have the lowest available knowledge at the peak of availability of knowledge. So again, we have the internet, right? You can search anything online. You don't have to go to a library anymore. Everyone's got a fucking smartphone. You can Google basic facts anytime you want. It's all there. And every single day, scientists, medical researchers, right, people that are historians, we're perfecting our understanding of the universe, medicine, sociology, history. We are perfecting it, right? Now again, far from perfect. It's going to take a while before we have a completely perfect, if it's even possible. But again, every day, okay, we learn more and more about ourselves and the universe, the world we live in, germs, all that kind of stuff. Trump supporters have the lowest amount of information, right? And so this is why I like to refer to them as the dumbest people in human history. Can you really blame people 1,000 years ago that were drinking lead in water because it tasted good? Can you really blame them for not knowing about lead poisoning? I mean, come on, man. They didn't fucking know how to figure, like, they didn't know what brain scans were. They didn't know, like, they just thought people were just getting dumb because they're just dumb. I don't know. Like, they don't know jack fucking shit. Max, what the fuck are you doing? Right? Can you really blame people 5,000 years ago for not knowing about the germ theory of disease? They didn't know anything, right? Like, but again, we are at this point now where Trump supporters are, like, they are probably less informed than people 1,000 years ago when we have all of the information, knowledge, and wisdom and research over the last 1,000 years. Like, if you were to send a Trump supporter 1,000 years in the past, right, they could learn a thing or two from wherever they would land, right? So again, this is what I like to call, it's the apex ratio, the dumbest motherfuckers in the history of dumb motherfuckers. We're talking, like, again, motherfuckers that are dumber than people that, like, believed in human sacrifice. We're talking about people that are so fucking stupid that they literally go to parties to get a virus that kills them. We're like dumb motherfuckers, right? So again, a lot of Trump supporters are all over the internet. Fake news. It's fake news. When this shit is obviously a joke. I mean, look at this one. This one's awesome. Look at this fucking one. Like, Donald Trump is like, I don't even know where this water is coming from. I don't know where the water is coming from. But, like, look at this stance here. Like, you think Donald Trump is gonna fucking, like, pull a Rocky Balboa on a cop or anything? Like, he's gonna fucking tackle this guy and beat the shit out of him? Like, really? You think this shit is serious? You think this is a real photo? I mean, again, we all know about AI. We all know about, like, Mid-Journey. We know about ChatGPT. maybe there's some people that don't know about it, but if you're going on the internet to find out where these photos are, or rather, if you're seeing these photos, you've already been exposed to AI-generated images by now. And if you haven't, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, you're the luckiest motherfucker on the planet. So everyone already knows that this stuff, like, fake AI-generated images. But again, this is like the fakest of the fake. Now, is this funny to look at? Absolutely. Like, this cop here looks like he's an anime character, right? Like, look at that. There's no visible eyeballs. The mouth is not there. Looking like a motherfucking, like, Jacob's Ladder villain crossed over with an anime character. Like, Donald Trump is just, like, looking like he's about to... like, again, this is obviously fake stuff. But let's keep reading here, because this is pretty good. Look at the Melania photos. And then Donald Trump's a cop in this one? What the fuck? So is Melania yelling at Donald Trump, who's a cop? Someone goes on here and says, wow, fake news, fake news. Typical lying liberals with their fake news. Anyway, let's keep reading. There's been a surge in online threats directed at government and political officials ahead of the rumored indictment, with plans for what one commentator called January 6 times 10. Quote, making pictures of Trump getting arrested while waiting for Trump's arrest, wrote Elliot Higgins, founder of investigative collective Bellingcat, while sharing a series of deep fake images. He said the images were created using artificial intelligence text-to-image generator Midjourney. Mr. Higgins said that for several images he submitted the text prompt Donald Trump falling over while getting arrested. Fibonacci spiral news footage. Right? So again, the fake images show garbled text on the police officers' uniforms along with distorted faces and hands. One image shows Mr. Trump wearing a police belt. The deepfakes included Melania Trump along with former president's son, Donald Trump Jr., protesting the arrest. Like, again, imagine seeing this shit and going, fake news, fake news. I mean, again, no matter where you are politically, like, you're telling me right-wingers don't find this fucking shit funny? Really? You're telling me right-wingers see this shit and they don't find it funny? I mean, my God, man, like, do you have a sense of goddamn humor? Like, fuck me. Another widely circulated fabricated image depicting 5 officers holding Mr. Trump by his arms was not created by Mr. Higgins, but shows hallmarks of some AI-generated images. Quote, the Trump arrest image was really just casually showing both how good and bad Midjourney was at rendering real scenes. Like the first image has Trump with 3 legs and a police belt. Quote, I had assumed that people would realize Donald Trump has 2 legs, not 3, but that appears to not... but that appears not to have stopped some people passing them off as genuine, which highlights the lack of critical thinking skills in our educational system. So I love that quote. But again, you're going to see all I swear to God, if you look at this video clip when I post it, look at the comment section, you're going to be seeing some motherfuckers go like, typical lying liberal with your fake news. Like, motherfuckers can't take jokes anymore, man. Like, this is the fucking snowflake generation with these fucking Republican goddamn cocksuckers. They can't have a fucking goddamn good laugh at a fucking funny goddamn computer fucking photo. Like, Jesus fucking goddamn Christ with this shit. Like, can you just fucking stop taking your fucking stupid personality fucking defect, which is supporting Donald Trump? Can you stop taking that shit so goddamn fucking seriously? Like, you're like those motherfuckers that's like, that are obsessed with sports teams, and if you like make a joke about like one player on the sports team or something, they get like fucking pissed off. Like, you ever meet these people? You ever have sports fans in your fucking family that are just fucking annoying motherfuckers? Anyway, like, can you just fucking take a step back and learn to laugh at fucking funny stuff? Anyway, there you go. There's your update. Also, again, the real news here. Donald Trump still not arrested. Now, that is what I would call chilling. But hey, that's just my opinion. Fucking... oh, Christ on a goddamn. Y'all, welcome to the Above It All News Show program. This is a news show. Above It All News Program Incorporated program. program today is the program. Hopefully everyone is enjoying themselves. I don't know if you are. If you're enjoying today's show, give me a like, thumbs up on the video, and subscribe to the show, and ring the bell, ding ding, woo! This is the thumbs up show for and subscribe and tell your friends, or don't, maybe don't tell your friends, because then they're gonna judge you. But we have a show today for the program, stream the show, and program. So I think my liver functioning is improving. My armpits are starting to smell all the time. I think this means the toxins are being expelled. Good for you, Retro Boomer. I suggest trying to do some 24-hour fasting stuff. That's my suggestion there. That's going to melt that fucking liver fat. It's going to go like... Yeah, that's the sound of it melting. It goes... and ding ding the bell, everybody, so that when I post videos, you see in your push notifications, open up your phone in the morning, go, wow, look at all these, and then like the show today. So I got some news here. Some news. It's a news show, so I guess we're going to talk about news, I guess. So, talk about 1984 stuff, right? Talk about censorship. Talk about historical revisionism, right, in schools. Now, there's this very grand, billionaire-funded conspiracy going around town, and by town I mean the internet and the world, I guess, that schools are like left-wing indoctrination camps. Now again, I am 26 years old. I was going to school not too long ago, and the version of history that they taught me in school was some extremely far-right propaganda in New Jersey. So I'm not even a Republican state, right? Schools are not meant to teach you actual facts in history. That's just not what schools are designed to do. They're designed to indoctrinate you into loving America. That's why they force you to fucking pledge your allegiance to the country every day. And if you don't, you get fucking yelled at. You get fucking threatened with detention. You get fucking mocked and ridiculed. What, you don't love America? Yeah, how about this? Fuck America, motherfucker. But hey, anyway, there's this conspiracy going around that schools are woke. But what is the definition of woke? Well, in one Republican state, the definition of woke is saying slavery was wrong. That's woke. Typical woke school teachers. Why are they telling people that slavery was wrong? Indoctrination. Slavery was wrong. Too woke. Now, this is a couple weeks old, but I missed this somehow. And I think that I want to talk about it, even though it's a couple weeks old. So, excerpts from Mary Wollstonecraft's A Vindication of the Rights of Women. Passages from Christopher Columbus's journal describing his brutal treatment of indigenous people. A data set on New York Police Department's use of force analyzed by race. These are among the items teachers have nixed from their lesson plans this school year. And last, as they face pressure from parents worried about political indoctrination, administrators wary of controversy. Now again, a lot of people, in my opinion, are soft on parents. I'm tough on parents. If you don't want your child to learn that slavery was wrong, you shouldn't have a child. In fact, if you call up a school board, any Democrats listening in Republican states, throw this on the legislation docket. It won't get passed, obviously, but just throw it. If you call a school board and complain that your child was taught that slavery was wrong, I personally believe that Child Protective Services should be called. That's my opinion. If you are teaching your children that slavery was not wrong or that it's up in the air, you should have your kids taken away from you. That is child abuse. What you are doing is indoctrinating your child into becoming a freak, someone who is not actually able to functionally participate in society. And that, again, kids are fucking stupid. And when parents lie to them, right, it's going to cause them severe forms of, let's say, arrested development, right? They might literally be 15 years old and think slavery was a choice. And that is child abuse. That is child abuse. My opinion is Republicans should not be allowed to raise children. Now, again, a lot of people say eugenics. It's not eugenics. I don't give a shit if Republicans have children. I'd recommend they don't, but they should not be allowed to raise children. I don't think it should be legal to teach children that slavery was a choice. It should not be legal to teach children QAnon is real. It should not be legal to teach children that, let's say, washing your hands doesn't do anything. It's a liberal conspiracy. It should not be legal to not let your children get vaccinated and then they develop polio when they're 12 years old. That is child abuse. Full stop. Now, I have this video here that is a school teacher that was reprimanded for saying slavery was wrong, and they're asking the superintendent, this is like a video captured of a video, but they're asking the superintendent of the school what they're allowed to say on the form of slavery. And I just want to play this one because just hearing the superintendent's answer, pretty fucking insane. I don't know, if you ask me, crazy ass 1984 shit. Let's watch.
Knowing that I should stick to the facts and knowing that to say slavery was wrong, that's not a fact. That's a stance. Is it acceptable for me to teach students that slavery was wrong?
I think it goes back to the part with critical race theory is that we can say this is what happened, and again, you probably know more about it than I do, Greg, and I think that's maybe even Maya and Laura's both, is that...
Just hold the phone here. So, this stupid fucking bitch who should be in jail, but instead she's a superintendent, is saying, you might know more about slavery being wrong or not than I do. Like, talk about gigantic red flags. Do you want these people around your kids? You know, I don't really know if slavery is wrong. You might know more about that than I do. Superintendent of a school district.
This is all new stuff, but
it's new stuff. Slavery being wrong. It's new. It's new stuff.
My opinion is here is what happened in our history. And we had people that were slaves within our state. We're not supposed to say to them, how does that make you feel? We can't, or does that make you feel bad? We're not to do that part of it. Is to say, is slavery wrong? I really need to delve into it to see, is that part of what we can or cannot say? And I don't know that, Greg, because I just don't have that. So I need to know more on that side.
So again, I say this one. If you're a fucking superintendent, take a risk. Take a risk. Oh, you think Republican attorneys general are going to sue you because you told kids that slavery was wrong? Like, think about the easiest hill in the history of hills to die on. Dying on the hill of slavery is wrong. You would think, I mean, hey, right? You would think this bitch, stupid fucking bitch, by the way, you would think narcissistically, this is a way for her to get national news media. She's being sued by a Republican attorney general over telling students that slavery is wrong. Like, and imagine the press you could get. Imagine you could make millions of dollars. You could write a book about this. Talk about the opportunity of a lifetime. Just totally narcissistically speaking. She could think slavery is great, but it's an easy one. This is an easy hill to die on. But instead, she's like, well, critical race theory is we don't really know.
Side.
Wow.
This guy. So, like, this guy, I mean, just.
Wow.
I'm sorry on that part.
Yeah. I think with the 5 minutes running down, I understand the level of support I'll be provided from here on out.
So this guy, I don't know if this guy like recorded this. I think he did, right? So like this guy is thinking, right? Like while he's looking at his screen recorder, he's thinking, I don't like. She just like she literally just fucking like put herself. She built her own coffin. Like she went down to fucking Lowe's, bought some plywood or whatever I don't know what you build coffins out. I've never built a coffin. Anyway, so she goes and gets some wood, right? She goes to take some woodworking classes. She builds her own coffin. She gets in the coffin, right? Then she's like, damn, that's a comfy ass coffin. So she goes in the backyard. She goes to fucking Home Depot this time, mix it up a little bit, support different businesses, right? Gets a shovel. She digs a fucking hole 7 feet, not 6 feet. She's going a little above and beyond. She throws the coffin in there. Then she hires some motherfuckers from the Home Depot parking lot, says, hey, I'm gonna go jump in this coffin in the hole. Can you bury me in there? Right? And then this guy, right? This guy is just like, he watches that whole thing unfold and he's just like,
wow.
like he doesn't need to say anything. But anyway, let's keep going into this Washington Post article. Cause this is, again, this is crazy fucking shit. Like you're telling me the idea that slavery was wrong, we don't really know. We don't know if that's allowed to be said in the fucking classroom. Now, again, talk about the dumbest fucking like, again, this superintendent, in my opinion, should be in jail for child abuse. The lawmakers that signed this legislation should be in jail for child abuse. That's my opinion. Feel free to cry and whine about that if you want to, but whatever. But let's get back to this article. The quiet censorship comes as debates over whether and how to instruct children about race, racism, U.S. history, gender identity, and sexuality inflame politics, and consume the nation. These fights, which have already generated at least 64 state laws reshaping what children can learn and do at school, are likely to get some acid reflux from this coffee, are likely to intensify ahead of the 2024 presidential election. At the same time, an ascendant's parents' rights movement born of the pandemic is seeking and winning greater control over how schools select, evaluate, and offer children access to both classroom lessons and library books. You know what's interesting about these boomer dumbfuck shitheads? Now, I know they want to ban TikTok too, right? But I mean, the internet? Like, oh, we're going to ban a book from the library? Like, you think kids aren't just going to look this shit up? Now, again, some of them aren't, right? Some kids are just going to be dumb as hell and they're going to have arrested development and stunted growth because their abusive parents were allowed to just abuse them and the government did nothing about it, right? But most kids, they're just going to look this shit up and go, oh, turns out slavery, pretty bad. You know what I mean? Wow. Slavery. Turns out, hey, I don't know about what you're saying, Mom and Dad, but turns out I looked it up. Slavery was pretty bad, actually. So, like, I don't know, man. Maybe kids are too dumb to do that shit, but when I was in school and I was learning that Martin Luther King Jr. solved racism, I didn't have a phone, but I went home, used my computer, and I was like, whoa, wait a second, that's not true. They're lying in school. I remember getting into arguments with my fucking social studies teachers. Anyway, that's a whole different story. But like, this is some crazy ass shit, man. I mean, I'm like, again, this is some crazy ass fucking shit. In response, teachers are changing how they teach. A study published by Rand Corp in January found that nearly 1/4 of nationally representative sample of 8,000 English, math, and science teachers reported revising their instructional materials to limit or eliminate discussions of race and gender. Educators most commonly blamed parents and families for the shift, according to the Rand study. The blamed parents and families. Yeah, fuck the parents. Okay, this is, again, This country is way, way too lenient on parents. Now, again, I'm a little biased. My parents were dumb motherfuckers, and a couple of times my parents were not so good to me. So maybe I'm a little biased. But I will say this. This country is soft on parents. We let parents get away with all kinds of fucked up shit. And when a parent is complaining to the school board that their kid is getting taught that racism and slavery is bad, and they're complaining about it, again, immediately, as soon as they hang up with the parent, they should immediately call Child Protective Services and say, hey, we've got this neo-Nazi scumbag piece of shit raising a kid to hate black people. That's what they should fucking say. That's what we should do if we had a proper fucking society, but we don't. We live in dumb fuck world where everyone's just, well, maybe we should kill all the gays and the transes. Maybe black people should be back in change. Maybe slavery wasn't so bad. I don't know. Hey, little Timmy, what do you think? You think slavery is bad? You want your very own slave? I mean, maybe if you had a slave, you'd be able to clean your room all the time. Hey, little Jimmy, ho! Like, these motherfuckers need to go to jail. It's that fucking simple. It's that fucking simple. I don't know what to tell you. Fuck the parents. Fuck the families. Send these motherfuckers to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Fuck you. If you think your kid shouldn't learn about slavery being bad, guess what? You shouldn't have fucking children, and you should go to jail. That's my opinion. Here are 6 things some teachers aren't teaching anymore. Slavery was wrong. We already went into that one. Christopher Columbus's journal. For 14 years, a North Carolina social studies teacher taught excerpts of Christopher Columbus's journal without incident. The point was to show how Columbus's marriage of enslavement with his quest for profit helped shape the world we live in today. The teacher, who spoke on the condition of anonymity for fear of harassment, directed children to read the first chapter of Howard Zinn's. Fuck yeah, baby, let's go. I wish they were teaching me Howard Zinn when I was in fucking school, okay? Let's keep going. A data set on police use of force. A self-described nerd, a North Virginia teacher, has always used math to explain the world around her. The woman who spoke on the condition of anonymity for fear of professional consequences became a statistics teacher in Loudoun County Public Schools because she wanted to imbue children with the same love of math. Last academic year, the teacher's statistics class was diverse along racial lines. She said partly in hope of appealing to her students of color, but mostly because she wanted young people to know the math can be used to reveal how society works. She taught a lesson built around the data set exploring the outcomes of the New York Police Department's Stop and Frisk program. Quote, the whole purpose of that lesson was to drive home the point. Okay, there is an association, but that we can't necessarily conclude race is the cause of the difference, the teacher said in an interview. I think that one maybe you could maybe say that race is the difference, maybe. A vindication of the rights of women. In Arkansas last school year, a 12th grade English teacher Lisa Childers was struggling to interest her students into Tara Westover's Educated, a memoir about growing up in a survivalist Mormon family with a splinter sect that saw little point in educating women. But she saw a glimmer of curiosity from a handful of female students intrigued by Westover's references to Mary Wollstonecraft, the 18th century British philosopher and writer best known for a passionate argument for women's equality. Childers, hard fucking name for a fucking children's teacher, like, my dyslexia can't handle this, decided to suggest 6 passages of optional reading from the text. Men considering females rather as women than human creatures, Wollstonecraft wrote in one, have been more anxious to make them alluring mistresses and affectionate wives and rational mothers, and the understanding of the sex has been hobbled. Okay, yeah. So anyway, you're not allowed to teach fucking kids that, historically speaking, men's views on women fucked up crazy ass shit. Hey, I don't know. But the idea that women are property and can't vote, and the only use that women have is to fuck them to death until they can give you 8 kids and then they die from malaria or some shit, right? If that's the only thing you think women are good for, guess what? You're a fucked up motherfucking scumbag. And if you are in the 21st century and you're thinking, maybe we should go back to that, guess what? You're a fucked up motherfucking scumbag. It's not that hard to figure out. 5. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and Of Mice and Men. Across 2 decades of work in education, one Missouri English teacher said she received 2 complaints from parents objecting to Mark Twain's The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. As best as she can recall, both complaints came from black parents upset by the use of the N-word, blah, blah, blah. The next one, a Library of Congress video of a cakewalk. Rebecca Fensholt, a teacher at North Carolina High School, spent weeks developing a 3-day unit on identity, power, and subversion. For her semester-long social studies class, students learned how racial, ethnic, sexual, and gender identities can be wielded to uphold or undermine those in power. One part of the lesson which Fensholt taught for 3 years with no problems involved showing videos of cakewalks, dances that black Americans began performing in the antebellum era, partly to mock the formal dances held by their white, wealthy enslavers. Fensholt played an old Library of Congress video of a cakewalk in which 5 black men and women clad in posh period outfits dance for 41 seconds in a circle, blah, blah, blah. So you're not allowed to teach fucking kids history. You're not allowed to teach kids that slavery was bad. I wonder what these parents would think about the Nazis. I wonder. I'm curious. The Nazis. You know, they had some good ideas. Maybe they went a little too far with some of their. But hey, who's to say were the Nazis really bad? I mean, again, this is some crazy ass shit. I don't know what else to tell you. But fundamentally, I come back to this idea that I want to be tough on parents. I think most parents, I'm willing to say that 90+% of parents in the United States are fucked up fucking garbage can man motherfuckers, right? Most parents in this country are shit on my shoes, right? Most parents in this country are terrible people. Most people in this country are terrible people, so it stands to reason that most people being parents in these generations, probably if they're terrible people, they're probably going to be terrible parents. But again, we live in a society where 90+% of people in this country are just bad at their job. So you might be wondering, are 90% of parents neo-Nazis trying to tell their kids that black people should be enslaved? No, but I say this, whether through negligence, and again, could be through no fault of their own. Let's say you have a kid and something happens, there's a recession, you lose your job. It's not your fault. But either way, when I say that parents are terrible, I don't necessarily mean that all of them are intentionally terrible. Now, the Republicans should not be allowed to have kids. That's simple. They should not be allowed around children. My opinion, we should put Republicans in the same category as sex offenders. They're not allowed anywhere within X amount of feet of kids, okay? But on the other hand, we got a lot of parents in our society that, let's face it, they didn't read enough books on how to fucking raise a kid. Let's face it, their finances are not in a good enough position to raise a child effectively. Let's face it, maybe they don't know anything about nutrition. They don't know how to feed their kids. Again, terrible parents. Now, again, there's a spectrum. Some parents are neo-Nazis. They're evil. Full stop. Not every parent is a neo-Nazi, but the effect is that we have generations upon generations, traumatized kids, not knowing how to deal with their own personal trauma, growing up, having their own kids, not knowing how to deal with their personalized trauma, passing it on to another generation, so on and so forth. So we got a bunch of fucked up motherfuckers in this country that don't even know why they're fucked up, but they're fucked up anyway. I say this one, if you're a parent, if you're an aspiring parent, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm trying to kick your shit into fucking high gear, right? You should be reading parenting books. You should learn about medical science. You should learn about health and fitness just so that you can teach your kid how to properly maintain their body so that they don't develop cancer, so that they don't, again, 20% of kids in this country, 20%, 1 in 5 have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Now, are every parent that has a kid that has fatty liver disease, are they terrible people? Maybe not necessarily, not intentionally, but through negligence and through lack of care, they're the parent. They gave the kid the food. If you're giving your kid juice boxes, I think that's child abuse. Juice boxes should not be given to kids in the same way that alcohol should not be given to kids. When 1 in 5 kids have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, we got to look at the parents, okay? And where are the parents getting their cues? From society. So we got to look at fucking society here, and we gotta look at fucking parents. I just think a lot of people are having a lot of kids that they don't need, okay? Think about this. Most people have kids out of laziness and narcissism. Hear me out. I don't want to turn this whole segment into being tough on parents, but I guess it's already too late for that. Now, there's some people that have kids for a third reason, genuine, wanting to raise a child or whatever to be the best that they can or whatever. I say those people are more likely to adopt. But hey, okay, it's possible. I'm willing to carve that out as a possible exception. But most, I would say 95 to 99% of parents have kids because they're lazy or they're narcissistic. Now, what do I mean by lazy? That means they don't really care about protecting themselves. They don't really care about the consequences. They just kind of go with the path of least resistance. Oops, I'm pregnant. Whatever. I guess I'll have some kids. Oh, I guess the person who impregnated me doesn't want to stick around. Now I'm a single mom. I have to work 2 jobs, and my kids don't, they don't get to spend any time with me. They're neglected. Now, again, am I saying all single mothers are bad? No, I was raised by a single mother, but I'm just saying this. I don't even think, to be honest with you, I don't even think 2-parent households are enough. I'm one of those motherfuckers that says, it takes a village and all that fucking shit. That's my opinion. I think society as a whole should raise kids, not individual parents. That's my take. I think 2 parents, probably not enough. But 1 parent, definitely not enough. But again, it happens. Sometimes you have a situation where you plan to have a family. Let's say one of the parents gets killed in a fucking freak accident, or let's say the parent gets killed in a mass shooting. They happen all the fucking time, right? So again, through no fault of their own, they're thrust in a position that's really bad. I say this. I don't want to risk it. I'm not having kids. Now, again, maybe I'll change my mind in 10, 20 years. I'm only 26. Hey, possible, right? But, right. Again, think about the kid. I know. A lot of people want to make excuses for parents, but think about the kid. They're going to grow up. Their parent is absent. They're basically raised by either raised by cartoons and television and their peers at school, if they have any. Let's say your kid is bullied, and they don't have any friends at school or whatever, and they don't have you in their lives because you're working all day and you're sleeping all day. What the fuck? Your kid's going to turn out to be a freak, just like me. Anyway, again, I just think too many people in this country are having kids for reasons that aren't actually genuinely good. Narcissism. How many times have you met a parent who names their kid after themselves? You ever meet these people? Yeah, I'm going to name my kid Shitfuck Junior the Third. Really? Really? You ever meet these parents that are just trying to that when their kid shows any sign of independence, oh, maybe I don't want to be an asshole like my father or my mother. Maybe I want to do my own thing. And then their parents are like, I don't like you doing that. I want you to work for me and you ever meet these people? Again, narcissism or laziness, I think, are why 95 to 99% of people have kids. That's my opinion. I'm willing to debate this with anybody that wants. I know it's harsh, but all I want is for parents to take this fucking shit seriously and stop traumatizing your fucking kids. You decided to have kids, whether or not you decided to do it or you just made the decision after you got pregnant, whatever. You decided to introduce kids to your life. That's a fucking serious fucking job. And I know a lot of people in my audience are parents, and I can presume that the people in my audience are better parents than most people. So again, all I want people to think about is, again, how they're raising their children, because that's extremely fucking important. In my very humble opinion, as soon as you decide to have a child, your life is over. It's over. It's done. You might as well fucking buy a gun and shoot yourself. Your life is over. The moment you have a kid, you have no life. I don't give a shit, okay? I don't give a fuck. Now again, am I saying you need to dedicate 100% of your free time to raising your kid? No, because if you do that, you're going to get burnt out. So obviously, you need to create a personal life, work life, and work includes raising a child. You need to create a perfect hybrid so that you have a way to de-stress and all that so forth. You got to put your mask on before you put your fucking kid's mask on when the plane's going down into the fucking Atlantic Ocean, right? But again, I need people to understand having kids is, you don't just fucking willy-nilly jump into being a parent. That's how you raise a kid that hates you and that hates the world, okay? Like me. I hate my parent and I hate the world, okay? So anyway, I just want to say that much. Parents calling up schools telling them, you can't teach my kid that slavery was wrong. I say this, call Child Protective Services, because that fucking parent shouldn't be allowed around children. And I say this, we should be treating these neo-Nazi parents the same way we treat sex offenders. Don't let them in a certain amount of radius of a school. If there's a kid at the grocery store, they have to drop everything and leave. They cannot be around children because they are unsafe individuals. It really just boils down to that. So Again, maybe I went a little too far there, but whatever. I'll ask for forgiveness rather than ask permission. So anyway, that's my show today. That's all I got. For today. I mean, Q-Cock. Questions, comments, or concerns? You got them? Anybody? You got some cocks? You got some Q's? Does anybody got them? No? Well, what the hell? What the hell? Or if you got Q-Cocks, let me know. Again, yesterday I experienced my very first migraine, so I don't know if anyone in the chat has any migraine tips. I don't know, but I believe my theory is that during my 36-hour, 12-hour fasting and non-fasting periods, I am not drinking enough water. That's my presumption, so I'm gonna learn from that mistake and drink some more water. But I had a pretty fucking brutal migraine yesterday, man. That was fucked up. And so, anyway, if you're going to do fasting like I do, drink some water, don't fuck around, I guess I just fucked around a little bit. I had like 8 cups instead of 15 of water, and I fucked myself. So, I've got to be careful with that. But, it's pretty crazy. FRA walked in 20 minutes ago. I had to mute. What is FRA? What the fuck? Is that like the IRA? Like, are they planting a bomb under your desk right now? What the fuck? Hey, Mike K for the $4.99 super chat. How's it going? Industrialization and capitalism create the isolation that feeds dysfunction. I agree. Favorite Mexican food? Salsa. Easy. Easy. Mila, it's very obvious Mila hasn't been watching the show for the past week because I think I announced on like Sunday, or no, Monday. I announced on Monday that I was doing a Wednesday show today. So Mila, exposed. I don't know what to tell you. Mila Resin exposed, headline, exposed, Mila confirms she was too busy at brunch to watch the Above It All program. But if anyone wants to watch a Twitch stream, I might stream today. I didn't stream yesterday because I was dealing with this fucking migraine bullshit. But presuming I don't have that again, feel free to watch me on twitch.tv if you want. You don't have to. I don't know. It's up to you. Advil, ibuprofen for chronic migraines. Yeah, I don't know about that. Dick Van Dyke crashed his car today. I don't know why Dick Van Dyke is driving, okay? I love Dick Van Dyke. He's great. I loved the Dick Van Dyke show as a kid. Let's be honest, he shouldn't be driving, okay? 97 years old. I don't give a shit how old you are. You shouldn't be driving. Now, again, if you want to go around, like I say this, we should build, like, old folks driving areas, right, where they have, like, the old-fashioned buildings and, like, empty roads, like, 1 or 2 people are allowed in the city, and they're all demented, so they don't know what the fuck's going on anyway. Just let the old man just, like, drive around this, like, made-up town. Like, you know how Hollywood has got these, like, fake town sets and everything? I say this, rent them out to old people. Let them drive around their fake town thinking that they're actually driving when in reality they're not. That way, if they crash, no one else gets hurt, That's my opinion. So if I were president, I would create mandatory old people dementia driving centers. Like, just, let's say 1 mile wide radius. Just make a whole fake town that looks like it's like 40, 50 years ago for old people to drive around in every once in a while. Let's go get grandpa, give him the car for a little bit. As soon as they get their seatbelt on and the kids go away, they're going to forget what year it is, Ooh. finish this cup of coffee. So, yeah, I mean, if, 40, 50 years ago with signs to say whites only, make them feel right at home. There you go. There you go. You gotta hire a bunch of actors to just, like, walk around and pretend to be, like, carrying, like, paper bags of groceries, you know? Wearing, like, fucking goddamn overalls and suspenders, you know, all that kind of good stuff. Just build a whole fucking mini city where old people can go and drive their fucking cars without risking anybody. Jesus Christ. But anyway, that's my show, y'all. Thank you all for watching. I do appreciate people for tuning in. You could always tune out. Sometimes I get a little off the handle. You know what? Just deal with it. It's my show. This is my blog. I'm allowed to say whatever I want. To all the parents listening, I hope you're doing as good as you can. It's a very serious thing to bring another child into this world. I mean, again, look at what's going on here. So, anyway, yeah, I don't know. I won't be here tomorrow. I'm taking my day off tomorrow, so I'll be here on Friday. I'll also say this much. I won't be here on Saturday either. So Thursday and Saturday, those are going to be my off days for this week. I'll be back on Friday. I'll be here on Friday. And I'll be here on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then not Wednesday, right? So it's like, you know, we're switching here. Look, we're switching. Like, this is switching. I don't know what that is. But anyway, that's it. That's it. That's all I got. That's it. That's it. Yep.